Welcome back. 5:45 a.m. on the East Coast. President Biden reportedly plans to ask Congress for roughly $100 billion in aid, part of a package that will fund Ukraine and Israel. People familiar with the matter tell Bloomberg that though the details are still being worked out, the funding would cover an entire fiscal year. For comparison, the White House's most recent request for Ukraine aid covered just 3 months. But any spending measure would first have to be taken up by the House of Representatives, which, of course, currently does not have a speaker. And even when a new speaker is elected, it's far from a given that they would support a package that combines aid for both Ukraine and Israel. Joining us now to talk about it, Democratic Congressman Jake Auchincloss of Massachusetts. Congressman, thank you for being with us again this morning. So let's start there with that $100 billion aid package. That's a big number, but it includes aid for Israel and Ukraine, to be sure, but also border security, some aid for Taiwan, as well as other measures. So two-parter. First of all, is that a number, a big number? Is that a number you support? And secondly, do you think we can get through Congress?
Yes, I do support it. Congress needs to support the president's resolute foreign policy in Ukraine, in the Indo-Pacific, and of course in Israel. Right now, the president just flew into a war zone to stand with Israel in its moment of peril. And he's offering not just military and diplomatic support to one of our closest allies. He's offering moral clarity. Israel was attacked by terrorists. It has a right and responsibility to defend itself. And the United States, as an ally of democracy the world over, has a responsibility to come to Israel's aid at a moment of crisis. And we have a similar responsibility for Ukraine as they fight on the front lines of the free world against an autocrat. And we have a responsibility in the Indo-Pacific to contain the Chinese Communist Party's increasingly aggressive and militaristic policy in the South China Sea and across the Taiwan Strait.
So, Congressman, you just said the president's showing real leadership, real support for Israel by making that trip. There's no question there. But do you see any risks attached here that this move to Israel, particularly with the Jordan summit canceled, and if this war were to widen, that the president would take some ownership of it?
The president welcomes ownership of problems because that's what leadership truly is. Unlike Donald Trump, who always blames somebody else for problems, President Biden is running towards a conflict to help resolve it. That is what makes the United States still the indispensable nation in this world. And he is looking to contain a wider conflict. Most specifically, he is looking to prevent Hezbollah from opening up a second front in the north. And he is the president who has traveled most to Israel of any previous American president. He understands the dynamics in that complex, tragic region. And I have great confidence that he's going to do his utmost to support our ally, to minimize any civilian casualties in Palestine, because we here in the United States recognize that Hamas and Palestine are not one and the same, and that indeed the Palestinians have suffered under the sadistic rule of Hamas, and that the focus needs to be on destroying that terrorist organization while preventing undue humanitarian suffering.
So the president's job, though, complicated by the fact that there is no Speaker of the House. Jim Jordan, who I know does not enjoy your support, is up for another vote later today. Right now, the whip count suggests he's still going to fall short. So give us your analysis of Jordan. But if he were to fall to defeat, is there a Republican out there that you think you could support as Speaker?
Jonathan, I was on the House floor a lot of the day yesterday, and the Republicans on the other side of the aisle look like the locker room of our beloved New England Patriots.
Oh.
And the reason they're so dejected is because they know that their so-called moderates are being found out to indeed be extremists, because Jim Jordan is an original MAGA extremist in favor of a nationwide ban on abortion, no exceptions for rape, incest, or life of the mother. One of the champions of the January 6th insurrection. A vote for Jim Jordan is a vote against the United States Constitution, full stop. And I am deeply disappointed at the buckling of traditional Republicans under pressure from the hard right. And they need to choose a bipartisan path forward. Democrats are absolutely ready, willing, and able to work with Republicans to govern, as we were with the debt default crisis, as we were with the continuing resolution to keep the government open. Of course, we're in the minority. We need Republican votes to govern. We are here, but they have to jettison their extremists.
It shows just how far patriots and their fans have fallen, that you just correctly compared them to the chaos in the House GOP. Democratic Congressman Jake Auchincloss of Massachusetts, you've got a busy day ahead. Thank you for starting it with us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Coming up here on Way Too Early, President Biden has arrived in Israel for an extraordinary